How can one avoid dying alone? There's a book Sun bought in Singapore called How to Not Die Alone. Why die alone? You do everything by yourself, so sometimes you feel so sad. You could try asking for help from others, right? It's just that we choose to do everything by ourselves, we choose not to rely on others. There could be many reasons. Maybe we don't want to bother others, maybe others can't help us, or we feel like no one can help us at all. But sometimes, let's just pretend to need help. Who knows, maybe they'll do it for us. Who knows, they might just do it for us. For myself, there are some things I have to do alone because I know only I can do them. That can be very difficult, but I accept that difficulty. For most other things, I'll share and connect with everyone, family, friends, people around me. So sometimes, we just have to open up. Honestly, good people are always around us. It's just that sometimes, we might be a little too constrained. But don't worry, you won't be lonely your whole life. After listening to what Sun said, you can ask someone for help with something or ask them a few questions. In general, relationships don't just happen by chance, they take time. You're curious about what kind of boyfriend I have. For Sun, appearance isn't that important, but how a person treats me is very important. Appearance isn't important, money isn't important, meaning I don't prioritize them. They're not top priorities, but there needs to be compatibility. Because later, whether we're dating or married, finances need to be clear. I don't know about you all, but for me, before marriage, finances must be clear between us. Because Sun thinks that once you're married, money is shared. You can't get married and then say, this is mine, or this is yours. It has to be ours. We just decide how we'll allocate it. How to gain weight? Whether you want to gain or lose weight, 70% is still about what you eat. It's about calorie deficit or surplus, meaning how much you consume versus how much you expend. So if you want to gain weight, you need to eat more than you burn. How to stop being an introvert? Why should you stop being an introvert? What's so bad about it? Look at me, do you think I'm an extrovert or an introvert? There was a lady, I kind of know her, she works at a coffee shop I frequent, and she said, "You seem quite extroverted, don't you?" But I told her, no, I'm an introvert. I'm not extroverted. It's just that my life requires me to go out and interact with many people, so I've developed communication skills. Meaning, I have the skill to talk to others comfortably, but that doesn't make me an extrovert. Introverts and extroverts, generally speaking, introverts are still people who are a bit different. Extroverts tend to enjoy going out more, talking more, while introverts talk less. But with the right people, they can still talk a lot. The difference Sun sees between introverts and extroverts is that extroverts draw energy from others. They really want to join fun gatherings and activities with many people to get energy from them. Introverts, however, when they're with many people, they lose a lot of energy and need to go home to their own space to recharge or recover their energy. I'm the type of person who gets very tired and loses a lot of energy when I'm out with many people, so I have to go home to regain my energy. Of course, there are still fun times. It's not like there aren't, but most of the time, I'll recharge at home. So don't blame introversion for not knowing how to talk. Communication is a skill. It's not determined by personality. Skills can be cultivated, and the more you go out and meet people in life, the more you'll learn how to talk and how to interact with others. Don't blame introversion, okay? You need to experience more and learn to speak more. Hello, newcomers. Are you interested in nursing? One thing is that Vietnam's population isn't an aging one, but nursing is usually excellent in countries with an older population, like Japan, or in Europe, countries with aging demographics, Germany, Japan. In such countries, a career in nursing would be very good. How about going to the US? Okay, this is a great question, also about connecting with friends. It seems our energy today is all about connection, right? You're asking Sun a lot about how to connect and make genuine friends without being fake. Let me tell you a simple, ordinary story. Once, when I was flying, I went to the lounge. Generally, it varies. Sometimes I go to the lounge, sometimes I don't. There's food and stuff. The time I went to the lounge in Kon Tum, there wasn't much food, just a Thai hot pot instant noodle cup that I thought was okay. There was a guy, an older guy, boiling water. He was about to make his noodles, so I immediately asked him, "Sir, could you make this noodle cup for me too?" And he readily made the noodles for me. That's one way to make friends genuinely, by asking for a favor. I mean, it's a very normal request. He was already making noodles, and I'm quite clumsy with those machines, very prone to getting burned, so I just asked him. After he finished, he called me over. Hey, I've made yours now. Okay. And then, when we got on the plane, we were sitting right next to each other. It was destiny. Even if you don't sit next to each other, remember, if you're in the same class, you could ask for a favor like that first, and maybe, who knows, you'll end up sitting together or even be in the same class later. Who knows? But the point is, just start by asking for a favor, everyone. And then there are other sweet, simple things. For example, another time on a plane, Sun was sitting next to a young girl. Whenever the flight attendant brought things, like wet wipes or food and drinks, since I was in the middle seat and she was in the innermost seat, she wasn't a child, she was older, a young lady, I readily took items for her. We'd readily take food, tissues, everything for them. Even if I were in the aisle seat, I'd still take things for the people inside. Simple things like that. They'd thank you like, oh, thank you. Or, when the girl dropped something on the floor, I deliberately bent down and picked it up before she could because it fell on my side. I immediately bent down and handed it to her. Afterwards, she gave Sun chocolate to eat. She gave Sun a piece of chocolate like, I have chocolate, do you want some? It was sweet. And after that, we exchanged Facebook details and so on. Life is just that simple, everyone, very simple things. Maybe we only meet at that moment, or maybe we'll meet again later. What do you do when you have a friend who's always jealous, copies you, and then elevates themselves by putting others down? Well, don't be close friends. I mean, just keep it normal. It's not about cutting them off completely. Sun thinks it's unnecessary. Just don't be intimate friends. You should remain civil because they, too, have problems in their lives and we shouldn't completely ignore them. Sometimes they need help, but don't get too close. Can you share more interview tips? You've come to the right person for interview tips. It's about finding opportunities for yourself, and for them, not about begging, oh, please, sir, hire me. Oh, please, sir, take me. Instead, it's if you don't hire me, you'll regret it. So, you should choose jobs that you feel you can meet some of their requirements. Because honestly, among many candidates, they will choose the most suitable person. They might not choose the most talented, but they'll choose the most suitable. You need to know what qualities you possess that fit the job, and don't lie. Be honest, and think that besides coming to showcase yourself, you also need to research the company culture, as well as the benefits and perks. If you have questions about the company, prepare them to ask them back. And most importantly, there's the emotional interaction. When you arrive, don't be stiff like a wooden block, all shaky and nervous. No, you need to look them straight in the eye, offer a gentle smile, and just relax, be comfortable and gently confident. So have that gentle and relaxed demeanor instead of being overly tense. What university did Sun attend? Banking. How to quit social media addiction? Just put your phone down, dear. And that's absolutely true. Because people who create content on social media, they make money. And if you're watching but not making money, then you should reconsider. Watching too much is not good, of course. It's fine to watch for entertainment, but if you spend most of your time watching while others are spending most of their time earning money, then clearly, you should reassess. A strong girl sometimes needs a shoulder to lean on, right, sis? This really depends on you all. What does that mean? What does that mean? Sun thinks it's not necessarily about needing a shoulder. We need sharing. We don't live this life alone. So during tough times or even our happiest moments, it's wonderful to share them with others, right? So being strong still means being strong sometimes. For example, in work or when we need to protect ourselves, we have to be strong. We can't be too gentle and let people bully us, right? But in life, we also need to share with others, and specifically, I also like to bother other people. I have an older brother, so I occasionally call him to complain a bit, just bothering people for fun, As for the shoulder in the sense of a romantic partner, Sun thinks that, of course, having a loving partner is great, right? The only tiring thing is if someone doesn't love you. But if you have a partner who loves and cares for you, what could be better? Everyone needs that, not just strong girls or not so strong girls, right? Are you planning to go to Korea in October? October is a very busy month for Sun, especially with plans to launch a notebook. October is also a month where my work schedule is already quite hectic, so Sun has no plans to go anywhere. Another reason is that Sun is also in the process of applying for a visa to another country, and that visa will take a long time to be approved. So while waiting for that visa to be approved, Sun won't have a visa to go anywhere else for a long time. You can't torment sis Sun, just go torment other people. She might seem tough, but oh my, few people can handle sis Sun's #1 clingy personality. My favorite book? Honestly, there isn't one favorite book because at each stage of life I like different books. But right now, Sun is really enjoying Haruki Murakami's Men Without Women. Murakami's writing style is a bit mundane, quite everyday, sometimes with a few adult elements mixed in, but that's fine, I'm almost 30 now. It's quite ordinary. I remember there's one part in here that completely shocked me. Which part was it? I think it was 1-2 or something. There's a story where a man hires a girl to be his chauffeur because he can't drive at that time. And she talks about her mother dying, but she says it served her right. Because her mother was someone who had constantly criticized, suppressed, and essentially tormented her throughout her youth, both physically and mentally. So when her mother died, the girl said, "I felt so light." Meaning, the way he wrote those things gave me goosebumps. It means there are people who have to live lives like that, and I didn't know. I felt so much pity, but really, his writing gave me goosebumps when I read it. But Sun finds it very, very good. Are you planning to sell notebooks on e-commerce platforms? No, I want you today. When you mention family, you'll understand. For me, sometimes family is a place to lean on, a place where I feel I can share. But out there, for some people, family is precisely where they suffer. Reading books makes me feel so much pain, all pains that truly resonate deeply within me. Who's behind sis, Sun? Oh, that old wives' tale, dear. No, I'm not afraid of those things.